The Dune universe is pretty expansive, both in terms of geography and chronology. Naturally, there has to be a plethora of species and creatures that are highly unknown to the world. One such section of beings were the Bene Tleilaxu. Now, in the universe, there was a war against all thinking machines called the Butlerian Jihad. But after this war, all thinking machines ceased to exist. However, the purposes that the machines served still remained. This became a problem, and the solution was found in Bene Tleilaxu, who used their superior genetic skills to create various beings that serve several purposes. Some good, others not so good. Now, in this video, we'll explore the 10 most horrifying, but before that, let's take a couple of minutes to understand a bit more about the Bene Tleilaxu. It would only make the subject easier to understand. Let's get started, shall we? But before I begin, please consider subscribing to us. It's a small click for you, but for us it goes a long way. Thanks, and now let's begin. Who are the Bene Tleilaxu? The Bene Tleilax, often just called the Tleilaxu, are strange and mysterious beings from the Dune universe. They're basically a genetically tweaked human faction from the planet Tleilax, orbiting the star Thalim. These folks are infamous across the known universe for their creepy but highly advanced genetic engineering skills, which has rightly earned them the title of necessary evil. Their secretive nature and morally questionable practices make them reviled by most other creatures, but their expertise keeps them indispensable in the grand power plays of the Dune saga. Originally from Zen Sunni religious roots before Muad'Dib's jihad, the Tleilaxu evolved from a purely spiritual group into master genetic manipulators. They kept their true nature under wraps and became a covert guild focused on genetic manipulation. Their ambition peaked when Emperor Paul Atreides overthrew Shaddam Corrino IV, sparking a galaxy-wide jihad of Fremen. The Tleilaxu jumped into the fray, plotting to wipe out the Atreides line by gifting Paul a Ghola named Hate, a clone of Duncan Idaho. Their real aim, however, was to unlock Ghola memory restoration. I'll come to this in a bit. Master Bijaz, grown alongside Hate in an Axolotl tank, successfully reawakened Duncan's memories by pushing him to fail an assassination attempt on Paul. This ended with the death of key Tleilaxu players like Scytale and Bijaz, not without teaching the Tleilaxu how to renew flesh and revive Ghola memories, giving them a twisted form of immortality. During Leto II's 3,500-year reign as the God Emperor, the Tleilaxu kept churning out Duncan Idaho Gholas, each time hoping to perfect their resurrection techniques. They even tried joining hands with the Bene Gesserit to create an all-female society, but their offers were always shot down. Now that we have a basic understanding of who these beings were, let's get to the crux of our video and explore the 10 most horrifying creations of Bene Tleilaxu. Number 1. Face Dancers. Face dancers, also called shape changers or Jadacha hermaphrodites, are a unique creation of the Bene Tleilax. Engineered as sterile metamorphic transhumans, they can't reproduce on their own, which is why they're placed lower in Tleilaxu society than the childlike masters. Despite this, their ability and knack for altering both their looks and personalities made them hot commodities for off-world gigs, especially in entertainment. A smaller group took on the roles of spies and assassins, and it makes sense because someone who can change how they look at will would make an amazing spy. Additionally, these face dancers have more muscle and nerve connections than regular humans, combined with top-notch Prana Bindu training and deep insight into different psyches. Oh, and Prana Bindu training is the precise control of the totality of nerves in the human body. This makes them masters at mimicking any adult human's appearance, voice, or personality, no matter the age, build, height, or sex. Their name comes from how their facial features seem to dance as their flesh and bones shift shape. In their natural form, as seen in the Heretics of Dune, they appear as two identical small men, with almost chinless round faces, pug noses, tiny mouths, black button eyes, and short white hair standing up like brush bristles. Psychologically, face dancers lack a strong sense of self and function more like hive creatures. They don't follow any ethical code except for staying alive, unless their masters order them otherwise. However, they aren't just mindless drones. They possess sharp intellect, can pull off cunning theatrics, react emotionally, and are aware of social dynamics. Interestingly, in Dune Messiah, it's mentioned they follow a strange honor code that requires finding a way for their victims to escape, though it's unclear how long this practice lasted. While face dancers can mimic individuals with near-perfect precision, they aren't foolproof. Traditionally, experienced Reverend Mothers could sniff them out by their unique pheromone signatures and other physical mismatches, a flaw the Bene Tleilax didn't initially catch, which basically gives the Bene Gesserit an edge. Since we're already on the subject, let's explore Number 2. Enhanced or upgraded face dancers. So later on, the Tleilaxu upped their game. They enhanced their face dancers to the point where even the Bene Gesserit struggled to spot them. These upgraded face dancers could absorb memories through touch, even from the dead. This way they can replicate someone with incredible accuracy, including the dead, and learn their deepest secrets. This elite group was designed by the ruling Mashiks to infiltrate and conquer the old empire, aiming to spread the Zen Sufi faith, also known as the Great Belief. I'm amazed with the Islamic undertones that the Dune universe has, but it's not entirely explored in the movies or show. Now, there's one major flaw that plagues the face dancers. You see, when a face dancer impersonates someone for too long, they start believing they are that person. Their loss of original identity means their former loyalties vanish, and many mimics, like the imposter Hedley Tuek, get out of Tleilaxu control, which further means that the Tleilaxu plan for religious domination sort of gets derailed.
He wishes to inform you that vendetta, as he puts it using the ancient tongue.
Number 3. Twisted mentats. Twisted mentats hail from the planet Tleilax, and are pretty different from regular mentats. They have traits that go beyond pure computational skills and abilities of the mentats. Unlike their mainstream counterparts, whose characteristics are carefully selected by reputable schools without genetic tweaking, twisted mentats boast variations in body structure, emotional makeup, and psychological profiles based on what their clients want. Legitimate mentat training leverages an individual's natural strengths, often picking upstanding candidates, whereas Tleilaxu mentats flaunt artificially imposed traits, which tend to be pretty off-putting. This not only put the Tleilaxu in a bad light, but also dragged down the reputation of the great houses allied with them. Despite their bizarre and sometimes creepy nature, twisted mentats were in high demand during the Imperium era. A prime example is Peter de Vries, an effeminate and psychopathic killer who worked for House Harkonnen under Baron Vladimir. These mentats, though widely regarded with disgust, weren't shunned entirely because their skills were too valuable. Great houses trusted them with their deepest secrets, proving that their twisted traits didn't make them unreliable. After all, a sharp and paranoid mind like Harkonnen's wouldn't hand over secrets to someone he suspected might flip. However, Children of Dune throws a curveball by suggesting that the whole twisting thing might be a Tleilaxu scam. Duncan Idaho, a Ghola mentat, hints that the twisted mentats could actually be former students expelled from legitimate schools for not meeting ethical standards. The Tleilaxu then reconditioned them to highlight their darker sides. Initially, these mentats retained a sense of self and dignity, resisting complete control by the great houses that hired them. This means that while they were tools for Tleilaxu schemes, their personal integrity sometimes threw a wrench in their plans, showing that even twisted creations have their limits. Number 4. Axolotl tanks. Axolotl tanks, which can rightly be called one of the cornerstones of Bene Tleilaxu technology, serve as the vessels through which the Bene Tleilaxu clone living humans to create Gholas from cadaver cells. These tanks aren't just for cloning, they also whip up genetically engineered assassins known as face dancers. Later on, the Bene Tleilaxu took these tanks a step further by engineering them to produce a coveted spice melange. This spice was originally exclusive to Arrakis, the desert planet where it naturally forms as part of the sandworm's life cycle. As one would expect, the Bene Gesserit started sniffing around and suspected that the axolotl tanks were actually the remnants of female Tleilaxu. After all, no female Tleilaxu had ever been seen. During the chaos of the honored Mater rise, Reverend Mother Superior Alma Taraza revealed something pretty shocking to Tleilaxu Master Tylwyth Waff. She said that neither she nor her sisters would ever become axolotl tanks. Oh, before I go forward, honored Maters are basically a matriarchal organization that are violent, power-hungry, and obsessed with sexual domination. They're a brutal group from beyond the known universe, whose only goals are destruction and conquest. Now, the Master's shocked reaction confirmed the Bene Gesserit's hunch. It turned out that genetic information could be embedded into those bred in axolotl tanks, allowing the creation of organisms with specific skills, reflexes, and aptitudes. Despite the widespread revulsion toward axolotl tanks across cultures and groups, the Bene Gesserit saw their potential. By the time the honored Maters had taken over the old Imperium planet, the Bene Gesserit had embraced axolotl tanks to produce Gholas, furthering their own agendas. The last Tleilaxu Master, Scytale, got the boot and was forced to reveal just how to create synthetic melange, which in turn gave the Bene Gesserit a massive boost in their quest for power. Behind the scenes, the term axolotl draws from Nahuatl, meaning water dog, referencing the axolotl salamander's amazing ability to regenerate body parts. This nod to regeneration perfectly ties with the tank's role in cloning and genetic manipulation. In essence, axolotl tanks are the Bene Tleilaxu secret sauce, blending biology and technology to maintain their influence in the Dune universe, all while keeping their true nature under wraps until the Bene Gesserit uncovered the shocking truth. Number 5. Gholas. Gholas are basically artificially created humans who are resurrected from the cells of deceased individuals, using Bene Tleilaxu technology. These clones are bred from axolotl tanks and require just a single cell from the original person to be recreated, while the Bene Tleilaxu predominantly handle their production. The Bene Gesserit stepped into the game by creating at least one Ghola based on Miles Teg, before the honored Maters made their grand return. At first glance, the Gholas might seem just like regular clones, but there are some key differences that set them apart. For starters, a true Ghola is born from cells harvested after the person's death, whereas clones come from cells taken while the individual is still alive. This timing difference means that clones don't carry a death memory when their original memories are restored. Both Gholas and clones can be created using similar methods, as seen with Miles Teg, but their origins and the nuances of their memories distinguish them. Gholas are unique because they retain most or all of the original person's memories, thanks to a mix of conditioning and genetic memory. Initially, Gholas had a flaw. They had these artificial metallic eyes due to early production issues. Thankfully, the Bene Tleilaxu ironed out these kinks, and Gholas now have natural eyes like any regular human. Originally, Gholas served as a balm for grief-stricken individuals, as they offered a semblance of the lost loved one. However, these early Gholas lacked memories from their past lives, limiting their comfort. The Tleilaxu theorized that memories could be awakened through genetic memory and sensory triggers like sounds or smells. They put this theory to the test with a Ghola of Duncan, Idaho named Hate, who was programmed to kill Muad'Dib. Hate's innate loyalties to the Atreides clashed with his conditioning, causing psychological turmoil that unlocked his original memories, which proved the theory right. Following this breakthrough, the Tleilaxu perfected methods to trigger a Ghola's original memories through psychological trauma. This approach eventually worked on Miles Teg, whose memories resurfaced thanks to Sheena's use of sexual imprinting techniques, suggested by Duncan, Idaho, who found the original method too harsh. Gholas became a staple in the known universe, especially during Emperor Paul Atreides' reign. Duncan, Idaho stands out as the most famous Ghola, being replicated thousands of times over millennia. The latest Idaho Ghola even harbored memories from all previous iterations, a mysterious twist that remains unexplained. Each Idaho was conditioned by the Bene Tleilaxu to serve their political and cultural agendas, though these plans often backfired or led to unexpected outcomes. Miles Teg was uniquely a clone since his cells were taken before his death. Conditioned by the Bene Gesserit, his creation aimed to support their causes, but met with limited success. Number 6. Tleilaxu Master. Tleilaxu Masters form the creme de la creme of the Bene Tleilaxu society, and wield significant powers with their loyal subordinates, like Gholas and face dancers handling daily tasks and intricate political plots. These masters boast a special immunity to the Bene Gesserit voice, making them tough nuts to crack. Only their unique command language, a mix of keening, whining, and monotonous humming, reminiscent of angry bugs, can control their constructs, though this rarely comes into play. Despite being seen as little more than organic automatons, there's a twist in their tale. Face dancers who rack up enough lives as Gholas and make notable contributions to Tleilaxu society earn a biological upgrade, transforming them into new masters. Scytale is the top dog of this purification process, and not only rose to become a Tleilaxu master, but also joined the elite group of 10 Mashiks on the ruling council. When it comes to looks, Tleilaxu masters are typically short and childlike, especially when stacked up against the more imposing Poendas. However, Ambassador Nunepi breaks the mold, though his exact stature remains a mystery. Masters like Bijaz, Nunepi, Waf, and Scytale show some variety in appearance with blonde or gray hair, gray or dark eyes, and either pale or olive skin. They usually sport round cheeks and hairless genitalia, adding to their unique vibe. The top-tier 10 Mashiks take things up a notch, with sharp teeth and metallic gray skin that can dodge Ixian probes and other invasive scanners. This tough exterior protects their priceless knowledge and Nilentropy implants, ensuring their secrets stay locked away from prying Poendas. Number 7. Artificial eyes or metallic Tleilaxu eyes. Frank Herbert skillfully weaved the concept of artificial eyes into his stories, especially in Dune Messiah. These metallic, almost insect-like eyes were the symbolization of a deep-seated mistrust of technology. In the novel, the Tleilaxu manufacture these artificial eyes. These devices are of course cosmetic, but they throw light upon the Tleilaxu's manipulative abilities. These eyes are capable of altering perceptions, and by extension, controlling their users. The Ghola named Hate, about whom I was talking earlier, is one of the most notable characters to have received these eyes. In the real world, advancements in artificial eye technology mirror Herbert's fictional devices. Scientists at the Space Vacuum Epitaxy Center, or SVEC in Houston, had developed tiny ceramic photocells to repair malfunctioning eyes. These microdetectors, each just a 20th of a human hair, attach to a dissolvable polymer film and integrate with the retina, restoring vision by converting light into electrical impulses. While groundbreaking, this technology remains a far cry from the sentient mechanical eyes in Herbert's universe, yet it echoes his cautionary stance on technological dependence. In Dune Messiah, the Tleilaxu are depicted as creators of artificial organs, sure, but they're also master manipulators, capable of manufacturing tools, and even societal conditions like war and poverty. This kinda makes them something like a future corporation with immense power, something that has the potential to shape civilizations to their will. The mechanical eyes, therefore, resemble more than technological advancement. They represent the potential for such power to enslave and control, turning users into pawns. Number 8. Synthetic Spice. Project Amal was the Tleilaxu's move to crack the melange monopoly, aiming to whip up synthetic spice and ditch their reliance on Arrakis. Back in 10,154 AG, they pitched this game-changing idea to Emperor Elrud Carino IX. The Emperor, eager to control the spice and keep the Spacing Guild in check, gave the Tleilaxu the green light to seize the planet Ix. With his elite Sardaukar troops, the Tleilaxu didn't waste time. They rebranded Ix as Zuta, turning it into their high-tech lab hub for the project. Fast forward to 10,156 AG, and things took a dark turn. Emperor Elrud IX got whacked by Count Hazimir Fenring, who was acting on orders from the ambitious Crown Prince Shaddam. Shaddam, now the Padishah Emperor Shaddam Carino IV, handed Fenring the reins as Imperial Spice Minister and tasked him with steering Project Amal. Tleilaxu Master Hidar Fin Ajidika stepped up, managing to create an artificial melange called Ajidamal. At first, it seemed like a success, mimicking the real spice's properties, but disaster struck when the test sand trouts blew up, leading to a tragic accident where the Hayliner was obliterated and a guild navigator lost his life. By 10,175 AG, Duke Leto Atreides swooped in, invading Qatar and restoring Prince Romber of House Vernius as the Earl of Ix. Fenring didn't leave any trace of Project Amal, erasing all records to cover up the fiasco. When the Landstrad caught wind of this mess, Shaddam played it cool, denying any knowledge and blaming his late father Elrud's antics. The Tleilaxu Masters involved faced execution, and Ajidika met a gruesome end, as Ajidamal tore his body apart from the inside out. Project Amal ultimately flopped, and went on to show the perilous gamble of messing with nature's most coveted substance. The Tleilaxu's ambitious quest to control melange ended in catastrophe, leaving a trail of destruction and shattered plans in its wake. Number 9. Futars. Futars are a weird mix of human and felines, created by Bene Tleilaxu members who ventured into the Scattering. Designed as fierce hunters, they targeted the honored maters during their intense war. These hybrids first appeared in Heretics of Dune, and became more important in Chapter House Doom. However, the honored maters stole the Futars and kept them as pets. While they're dangerous and only have subhuman smarts, owners managed to control them using intimidation, sex, and emotional tricks. Some Futars slipped into urban jungles on planets like Junction, but struggled to survive without their handler's guidance. Notably, Shiana grabbed 4 Futars while escaping from Chapter House, showing their persistence. When the honored maters captured the water world Buzel whole, the Bene Gesserit speculated they planned to use it for a new slave race, the Phibians, water-based counterparts to Futars, which show up in the expanded Dune series. Number 10. Genetic Memory Transfer. Genetic memory in Frank Herbert's Dune universe is a fascinating concept, where individuals inherit the memories of their ancestors stored within their DNA. This idea suggests that experiences and knowledge can be passed down through generations, hidden in our genetic code. It's not something people are usually aware of, but certain triggers can bring these buried memories to the surface. The core idea is that an individual's experiences imprint on their cells, and these imprints get passed down to their descendants. This explains phenomena like benevolent mutations, where beneficial traits appear without clear genetic reasons. Normally, people don't access these ancestral memories, but using special narcotics like the spice melange can make these hidden memories resurface. Reverend Mothers of the Bene Gesserit Sisterhood are the main figures who tap into genetic memory. After undergoing a dangerous ritual called the Change of the Water of Life, they gain access to what the Bene Gesserit call other memory. This vast reservoir of ancestral knowledge helps them guide their breeding programs and political maneuvers. The ultimate goal of the Bene Gesserit was to produce a Kwisatz Haderach, a male who would access both male and female genetic memories, bridging the gaps in their knowledge. Paul Atreides became the first Kwisatz Haderach through the Bene Gesserit's breeding program. When he underwent the Water of Life ritual, Paul accessed memories from both his male and female ancestors, something no one before him had achieved. Unlike Reverend Mothers, Paul's transformation took much longer, showing the immense power and burden of his new abilities. Genetic memory isn't limited to Reverend Mothers and Kwisatz Haderachs. There are also preborn individuals, like Alia and Ghanima Atreides, who inherit their ancestors' memories before birth. These preborns have access to both male and female memories from the start, making them incredibly powerful but also vulnerable. For example, Alia struggles with the memories of her grandfather, Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, which eventually take over her personality, a condition known as abomination. Abominations are dangerous because the ancestral memories can overpower the individual's own identity, leading the Bene Gesserit to see them as threats that must be eliminated. The Bene Tleilaxu also exploit genetic memory with their Gholas, cloned individuals created from dead cells. By inducing psychological trauma, the Bene Tleilaxu can unlock the original person's memories within the Ghola. This process relies heavily on genetic memory, allowing the Gholas to access the experiences of their predecessors. However, this technique can backfire, as seen when some Gholas retain their own identities and resist control, complicating the Tleilaxu's plans. The dangers of genetic memory are vividly portrayed in Dune Part 2. Characters like Lady Jessica and Paul Atreides undergo the agony by drinking the Water of Life, a ritual that forces them to confront and integrate their genetic memories. During these intense experiences, memories from their ancestors can become overwhelming, threatening their sense of self. For instance, Leela, another character, faces terrifying ancestral memories that seem to prey on her, highlighting the perilous side of genetic memory. In the expanded lore, particularly in Dune Prophecy, the complexities of genetic memory deepen. Leela's journey reveals hidden family ties and secret factions within the Sisterhood, all tied to the tangled web of ancestral memories. Her discovery that her mother might still be alive and hidden within her memories adds layers to the narrative, showing how genetic memory can drive both personal and political intrigue. Overall, genetic memory in Dune is a powerful tool for characters to access vast stores of knowledge and experience, shaping their actions and destinies. However, it also poses significant risks, such as the loss of personal identity and the emergence of dangerous abominations. Frank Herbert masterfully uses this concept to explore themes of power, control, and the deep connections between the past and present, making genetic memory a cornerstone of the Dune saga's intricate storytelling. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.